The word of the day, kids, is nose beers. That's right, it is time to talk about the hilarious drama that happened last week involving the death metal band Vitriol, their one remaining member Kyle Rasmussen, and a wild night on that sweet fresh powder. 'Tis the snowy season, and indeed there was quite the blizzard that took place in Vitriol's RV the other night. Right in the middle of their tour, it was posted online that after a night of fucking around and finding out, all of the band members united and ditched Kyle at a gas station in the middle of fucking nowhere. And that was it for a while. All the headlines were going around saying death metal musician abandoned at gas station, which sounds like a Hard Times headline, but it was real. So it left everyone hilariously wondering what the hell happened exactly. And then Kyle quickly took to social media to put out his side of the story, that being a 40-minute long Instagram video where he was crying and pretending to not be on cocaine. And he claimed that after a wild night where everyone was partaking in what he calls nose beers, also known as powder, also known as yayo, also known as blow, also known as cocaine.
It turns all your bad feelings into good feelings. It's a nightmare.
Kyle claimed in his video that he responsibly likes to partake in nose beers only once or twice a year during a tour, as all cokeheads are known to do, and this just happened to be one of those rare nights where the planets aligned, the moon was full, and he decided to do a little blow. But Kyle claims so was the rest of the band, and I really don't have any reason to doubt that part. But the band were skiing in their RV. Then Kyle claims that tensions rose, he went to bed, he woke up when they were near the Canadian border, and the rest of the band were running around hiding and trying to clean and get rid of paraphernalia. Anyway, long story short, Kyle admitted to being on coke while having anger problems, but then didn't take any accountability for anything that happened. All of a sudden, the other band members, specifically Keith Murrow, were on cocaine in his face and threatening to kill him and then kicked him out of the van. Sounds really believable.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
He was also quick to show that he wasn't stranded alone, though. He was stranded with his girlfriend he brought on tour and his dog, which he was certain to put front and center in all of his pictures to try to milk as much as possible. Look, guys, it's not just me suffering, it's this poor helpless animal out here that the evil band members left stranded with nothing, and it's definitely not Cokehead Kyle's fault that the dog's even out there in the first place. Now, I don't know Kyle personally, I don't know anybody in this situation personally, and I have no reason to believe that these other members are saints and angels who never did anything wrong and were horrified at the sight of a little blow being in the RV. Let's be honest, probably not. But I do have experience reading through bullshit statements, detecting liars, and I do have experience with mental health issues and drug abuse in the past. And for this video, I didn't want to just roast Kyle, even though we're definitely going to roast Cokehead Kyle pretty hard. But I did want to try to add a little bit of something more to this video for maybe some illuminating words of encouragement or just stern advice that some people need to hear. Probably not Kyle. I don't think any word of this will actually get through and help him be a better person. That's long gone. But for other people who probably aren't as gacked out as the Vitriol frontman, perhaps you aren't as bad as Kyle, but you do relate to what he said at least a little bit. It seems many people do, because Kyle started a GoFundMe just to try to get him and his dog and his girl home, and within a day he was donated over $11,000. Because you know it always helps an abusive cokehead learn the errors of their ways, dropping $11,000 on their lap out of nowhere. I'm sure he will act very responsibly. So we're going to go over some of Kyle's video. I'm going to try to translate it and decode all of the bullshit that's being spewed out in your face. And don't worry, I'm not going to play the whole thing for you guys here. I'm going to get to the highlights. But the videos are still on Vitriol's official Instagram, so go watch the full thing if you really want to. And keep a tab on how many times Kyle rubs his nose. Some of what Cokehead Kyle says in this 40-minute rambling would actually be worth some sympathy and understanding and care if he was being honest, but he very clearly is not. Now, right off the bat, one of the things we can tell immediately is that Kyle is a great example that the nose ring theory is not gender specific. This man has a gold septum ring and also is totally not gacked out in this video, guys.
Video is going to be very freeform, and obviously this is a complicated time for me, so this is not going to be the most fluid you've ever heard me speak, so bear with me.
You see all that?
A big reason why I've never come out and said anything in the past about any of the other members, well, frankly, there's a lot of reasons.
We already started wrong. What, not even a minute in, he's already, how come I didn't say anything about the other members? Not any. I have some accountability to own up to. I have things that I must confess or own up to my own issues. No, he's not even a minute in. It's the other member's fault.
That I don't think.
Hey, we look at this very non-gacked out reaction right here. He's got that day-old drip in the back right now.
But there were people that were hurt in this situation that are not me. People that I care very much about. It was important to me to see how Keith, Brett, and Andy decided to handle this in the following day.
Not a single word yet about he did anything wrong. Already, without any details of anything, he's already said what the other band members have done and how they hurt other people.
And unfortunately, they chose to double down, and they are sharing information with people I care about that simply is just not true. Some of it's an exaggeration, some of it's outright fallacious.
Raise your hands in the comments if you had an abusive, drugged out ex who acted exactly like this.
So, first piece of honesty. I have no issue telling you that I like to indulge in responsible irresponsibility.
Very honest. I like to indulge in responsible irresponsibility. Already a good sign of honesty.
So, about once or twice a tour, I can't use the real word because I'll probably get censored somehow.
It's cocaine.
Flagged. But I like to indulge in nose beers.
Cocaine.
I'm sure it doesn't take much imagination to know.
Because everyone knows that those who indulge in nose beers only do it once or twice a year. Definitely not someone with a gold septum ring who's covered in tattoos and plays in a death metal band who's admitting on camera to doing blow. He definitely looks like he has the responsibility of only doing it once or twice a year. Nothing major.
So we play our show in New York. I managed to get some nose beers.
He knows how to get nose beers in New York City, somewhere he doesn't live. But he only does it once or twice a year.
And we all indulged.
That is I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he probably was not the only person doing it. Let's be fair. I've been around bands, and I'm not acting all high and mighty here. I have partaken in the past. Gladly, happily lost interest. But we'll get into that because this definitely plays into the type of person too, because if you are actually in the metal scene and around bands, you know that this is not an uncommon thing. A lot of people in underground metal, black metal especially, death metal, slam stuff, maybe less slam, but definitely underground death metal, black metal. Still a lot of cokeheads there, gotta be honest. Don't do coke, kids. It does not turn all your bad feelings into good feelings. It makes you have this type of face on camera and admit to doing nose beers.
After about a day, you know, of course, if anyone has participated, they know it's very easy to lose track of time. After enjoying it for a while,
a day. He just said that he was doing cocaine for a day, not a night.
For about 30 hours, these men were heavily intoxicated. I was for a great deal of time.
According to the other band members, that is not true. I believe Keith Murrow posted, according to him, coked out Kyle was partying all day and all night and then woke up 20 minutes before his show, freaking the fuck out.
And then after our New York show, I was convinced that I needed to, enough was enough. So I went to bed.
He went to bed after doing cocaine for 30 hours. He just decided, I'm going to take a rest now.
They very lightly asked me to participate. I chose not to. I chose to sleep instead.
As all cokeheads are known to do, that when they're offered more cocaine, they put it down and just take a nap instead. Happens all the time.
So I wake up to the sound of everyone in the RV cleaning and talking. You know, if anyone has been in that kind of environment, people who are on that kind of chemical, you know how kind of manic that can be.
That is true.
So I hear them in that kind of almost paranoid state. We're about to cross the Canadian border, and they are worried about, of course, what's in the RV. We have had weed in the RV.
Here's the part where I make some strong assumptions as to what actually happened.
They're like, oh my God, we're going to have to throw this out. We're going to have to throw that out. And I was like, guys, can we just chill the fuck out? As a guy who's been over the Canadian border 100 times, they're not looking through the cabinets for a vape pen. So I was just offering a perspective. Keith got a little...
I think his perspective, and this is my opinion, because I don't know, I wasn't there. I think his perspective was to try to smuggle cocaine into Canada, and the rest of the band didn't like that very much. That's what I am assuming from what I'm hearing here.
Defensive.
Because, yeah, they wouldn't freak about bringing a vape pen into Canada, because you could fucking buy one in Canada. Why would you even do that?
Asked me to not judge them.
That's a lie. Come on. What? The band's saying like, hey, don't judge us for not wanting to be international drug smugglers. And he's like, guys, I'm not judging you for not wanting to partake in my drug smuggling. It's just a perspective I would like to offer.
Said, I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to offer my perspective to help you guys maybe feel a little less concerned.
Do you think that's what happened? Do you think that after doing cocaine for 30 hours, that he was talking in this mannered voice of, I would just like to offer a perspective to calm you guys down? I'm sure it didn't at all sound like, what the fuck are you guys doing to my fucking cocaine?
Keith came into the bedroom, and he comes in, and he's kind of standing over me. I think what's going on is he's very intoxicated, and he thought I was belittling him or, trying to make him feel small or cowardly, which was not my intention. And I said, Keith, you really got to get out of my space. Now, let me give you a little backstory. Keith, this is a little first glimpse into my accountability.
Oh boy. Is this part going to be accountability, or is it him still continuing to put blame on others? Let's find out.
Shocker, the guy who dedicated his life to a band called Vitriol, has anger problems. That's why I started the band.
That's why he does cocaine.
For some catharsis, to engage with that part of myself and feel less alone and connecting that darkness with other people who are wrestling with it.
Let's be honest here, jokes aside, I think most people can relate to that. That's why I'm saying, like, there's things I want to talk about in a sympathetic way, even though I don't think will register to his coked out mind whatsoever.
I've done everything I can to be as open and honest as I can in preparing people for these slip-ups, and that doesn't mean I'm not responsible for the consequences of those slip-ups. It's still me. But it's just the way growth works.
Growth doesn't work by doing cocaine when you know you have anger problems.
So he knows this about me, and it is my belief in this moment that he is trying to leverage that weakness of mine to endanger the morale or the health of the environment.
That is a complete load of shit. That is him trying to sound like a victim and gain sympathy for a situation that he caused.
That's when I got very upset. And I screamed, and I said, how dare you, how fucking dare you try to ruin this by goading me, by egging me on to do something that you've seen me do. It was heartbreaking.
So he's trying to sound all victim-y here, being like, how dare you goat me into my anger problems after I was doing cocaine for 30 hours? How dare you do something that would set him unreasonably off and be losing his mind? Now, a little bit of actual real truth and accountability. I am someone who in my past dealt with anger issues. I was quick to overreact and things would set me off. Happy to say that I have improved that significantly over time. Not by doing cocaine on tour, but by actually addressing it. And a big part of addressing is taking accountability and knowing that, no, it is not up to other people to not set you off. It is up to you to calm your little inner Hulk down. And no, if you explode when you're gacked out of your mind on someone else because they didn't want to take drugs across the border, That is not them crossing into your space, challenging the vibe of the RV, man. That's not you addressing this. No, you are gaslighting. You are trying to play the victim when you know that you're the one that caused the problems. This is why I can't take you seriously, but hopefully other people watching with a little more sense can relate to some of the things you said, and think maybe I should stop myself from ever getting to this point.
And part of me knew that it was the chemicals talking. So anyway, I called him.
The chemicals only just make your feelings more extreme. If you were a super lovey-dovey person, it would have made you real gay for Keith. But if you're a real angry piece of shit, it's going to make you an angrier, more piecey of shit.
I'm a fuck. I said, you fuck. How dare you? Get the fuck out of here. I didn't threaten him physically. I didn't touch him. He leaves. I try to go back to sleep.
As one does after screaming out of their mind.
At this stage, I'm not thinking that the situation is that dire. That time that we were indulging, we were intoxicated, everyone was doing what they do on that and spilling their guts, right? So we're all talking about the stuff that's hard to talk about, talking about our childhoods, talking about trauma. And my anger, unfortunately, really catalyzed something in what Keith had surfaced for himself.
Oh, this is horseshit, dude. He starts saying right here, like, we were doing the cocaine, so we're getting really emotional talking about our past feelings and trauma. So then he claims, like, oh, I accidentally unlocked something in Keith that made him lose his mind. Definitely not, Cokehead Kyle over here freaking out. It was entirely everyone else's part. It was the cocaine's fault. It was everyone else's fault. He accidentally tapped this inner Pandora's box in the bandmates' minds that actually made them freak out. It wasn't just that he's a fucking dick.
I wake up, and now Maggie is coming in the RV telling me that everyone is packing their things.
Super sober.
I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't even understand what she really meant.
You know he did a couple lines before turning on the camera.
I see the guys walk over to the driver's side. They open the door. Brett just shouts, "You can't talk to us like that." And I said, "Talk to you guys like that?" I yelled at Keith.
Oh, it's a great start.
And I was like, what about the physical invasion and not respecting when I asked him to leave the space when he was being hostile? Like, is that not in any way whatever?
I can't believe fucking idiots donated this guy money.
That's when Keith, when I didn't offer a apology, that's when the situation went nuclear.
Remember, he is admitted to doing cocaine. He is admitting to having anger problems. But nothing has been his fault at all.
And he told me to get out of the fucking RV and that he was going to stab me in the fucking neck. And when I didn't get out of the RV, he pushed my girlfriend to the side.
Yeah, so while this band was on tour in an RV with, 4 full-grown men in it, he also had his girlfriend and his full-sized dog. Why did you have a full-sized dog on tour with you in an RV with 4 other people?
He pushed her out of the way to grab me by the jacket and try to pull me out of the vehicle. I said no. He said I fucking paid for this RV, which he didn't. So he tells me that he paid for the fucking RV and that
See what's happening right now? Do you see that the lines he did before he turned on the camera are taking effect now? He's starting to ramble more. He's starting to go off on other things unconnected.
Took advantage of him, and
he's getting cockier.
And, keep in mind, the morale of the band was fully intact. We're talking about taking this all the way to the top, that we're a family, that we're blah, blah, blah. Literally 24 hours before this happened. So
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
From the outside, if I saw this, I would have to assume that this was just a pressure cooker of animosity that exploded into this extreme action. It was a drugged out temper tantrum. That's the truth. Was I the catalyst for it? Was my rage? Was the intensity of my rage the match? Of course. And that's on me.
It wasn't a match, it was a bomb.
To get back to the story. Once I wasn't pulled from the RV and the door was closed, I sat there, heartbroken, because I saw in Keith's eyes a very wounded child. And I don't mean that in like a belittling way. We all have a wounded child in me. That was my wounded child talking when I came at him that hard. And it broke my heart. I knew that he didn't want to stab me in the neck. I knew he wanted to stab his past in the neck.
Dude, gaslighting 101, kids. It's actually not the fact that I'm trying to get you to sneak illegal drugs across the border. It's that you had a wounded child inside of you, and your past was hard.
And in that moment, I was the face of the terror of his past.
Or you were coked out of your fucking mind screaming at them, and it really doesn't need to be any deeper than that.
I think in that state, he saw that as an opportunity to take power from a life that always tried to take it from him.
Look at the gymnastics going in that little mind right there. They are just skiing through those obstacle courses. It's like SX tricky in that brain. How can I avoid all responsibility and put everything, no matter how absurd, onto Keith and the other members?
As to how the other guys got so wrapped up in that when I didn't treat any of them, like literally Brett 2 days before this happened told me he loves being in this band, that this is the best tour that he's ever done because it's the first time he hasn't felt anxious. We did everything we could to roll out the red carpet. We paid for his work visa to get over here. We hooked him up with gear. Keith got him basses. And I didn't even yell at him.
But yet, that person, whoever he's talking about, is joining Keith and starting another band, because all of these members that ditched Cokehead Kyle are starting another band together without him.
It's beyond me. Anyway, so I'm sitting there trying to...
It's beyond him. He cannot fathom how he could have played a role in the other members wanting to also leave band. It has to entirely be this other person, Keith. And I don't know Keith at all. Maybe he's fucking insane. I don't know. But just what is being presented here by Cokehead Kyle is not lining up.
So I get out of the RV and I go to follow Keith. He is actively walking toward a state trooper's car.
And?
High on cocaine. High on nose beers.
Cocaine. If he was walking to a state trooper, he clearly did not have as much to worry about as you did. See, if there was any sense of sincerity in what Kyle was saying here, my reaction would be very different. But there ain't.
These men decided to get the police involved in a personal, non-violent matter.
Because you had illegal drugs at the border.
I mean, I guess it became potentially violent with Keith's threat. But while they were high on... Damn it.
Cocaine.
While they were high on nose beers.
Cocaine.
Right outside the Canadian border.
See how he's getting a little more excited now? And his eyes are getting... Dude. Gacked.
So I said, Maggie, we got to get everything that we absolutely need to get by. And we just need to get out of here. I'm losing my... There's a lot going on through my mind right now.
Oh, I bet there is, sir. That would be sugar, drywall, fentanyl, specks of dollar bills. A lot going on in that mind right now.
I said, I'm getting out.
Did you see that? Did you see what he just did right there? Super sober, dude. Got a nice little shoulder up for sympathy right here. Gotta get that right in the shot. So as you can tell, Kyle did not take any accountability at all in the situation. For the second time in 2 years, his entire band bailed on him, this time leaving him stranded after a night of cocaine use, and it still is not his fault at all. It's everyone else's. And to really help Kyle mature as a person and grow and not have situations like this happen again, his fans, or as I'm going to call him, Cokehead Kyle's cucks, donated him $11,000.
Hello, everyone. Here we are in beautiful, thriving Redwood, New York, or Vermont. I suppose it's all in the eyes of the beholder. I have good news for anyone who is...
He is definitely sober right now, guys. Super sober. No skiing in his brain right now at all.
Interested in seeing Maggie, Ghost, and myself make it home safely. The outpouring of support has been beyond overwhelming. I know that might sound like a tired thing to say, but I don't know what else to say. If any of you were wondering why we weren't just getting a train or a bus home, you're looking at it. We have about 3 weeks worth of merchandise loosely smashed into this Jeep, which was the largest vehicle that Hertz had available for us.
You see how big that dog was? Why was that dog on tour in an RV with a death metal band?
Massive, massive shout out.
That dog's almost too big for some apartments.
We're about to hit the road. The Maggie, Ghost, and Kyle tour begins now. We're about to head to Chicago. And then after that, Denver to kiss that beautiful David Taylor on the mouth. I'm coming for you, buddy.
This next part is totally a joke, guys. It's completely sarcastic.
Okay, give me more cocaine.
At the end of the video, he quickly says, okay, give me more cocaine. And you hear his girl laugh. And see, that would have been a funny, well-timed joke if somehow evidence had come out that he was not doing cocaine and the others were, and it was a lie, and, you know, everything wasn't actually his fault. If he had somehow proven the other people's story, then that could have been funny, because we would have been like, oh, we see that actually is not you, so you're playing on the rumor. Seeing as how he himself admitted to it, and seeing as how he didn't have to do anything to better himself from this situation, his cucks completely bailed him out of the situation financially. He has his band name all over the place in media now, because the thing about the story everyone agrees is that despite how funny and memeable it is and how fucking ridiculous this dude is, Vitriol's music is good. Everyone liked the music. So with no personal growth or accountability whatsoever, this man has been completely bailed out of his situation, and now his band is more popular than ever. I'm sure that will really teach him a lesson. Watch him OD before he gets back from this little journey. So nothing was his fault. He got bailed out of everything and he got a pile of money just dropped in his lap. Now, I'm not really rooting for Kyle's downfall in particular. I don't have anything against him. I'm not going to see joy out of seeing his band completely fall apart, but he's made it very clear that he still sees no problem with his actions whatsoever. He's still denying any accountability, and no one is actually going to change for the better if they are not seeing their actions in full. If Kyle was really ready to improve and get out of the spiral he's been in, he would be owning up to his actions in that snowy night. He would be saying how he is the problem and needs to take time away to fix himself before focusing on anything with the band at all. But if someone can't admit to the fault in their own actions, then there is no chance that they're going to improve on behalf of anyone else. Yes, the story is hilarious and it's really fun to laugh at Kyle's stupidity and immaturity. How the fuck are you still such a cokehead in 2025 with fentanyl everywhere? But I do genuinely hope that there are some people out there who see Kyle's actions and think, you know, I don't really want to be like that. Maybe I should not aim to have my band ditch me at a gas station. When it comes to the topic of nose beer specifically, I'm not someone who's going to tell you what to do. Wait, yes I am. Don't do it. Don't do cocaine. Don't do blow. It's stupid. And I'm not speaking from a place of superiority. I dabbled in it in the past. Thankfully, it was not something I was ever big on. I did it at parties when it was available, but it was never something I felt a hook on. I never tried to bring any across the Canadian border. So I'm going to tell you, as someone with some experience, it's not worth it. I have a friend who died from it. At best, it will consume all of your money and make you retarded. At worst, it will make you a fucking asshole, destroy your entire life, and kill you. Genuinely, it is just stupid and not worth it. It is not cool, it is lame, and makes you gay. Unless you are gay, then it makes you straight. Either way, you're full of regret the next morning. So that's the story of Cokehead Kyle and Vitriol. Nothing good will come from it on his end, but hopefully it can be somewhat of an educational moment, if not some comedy for everybody. What do you guys think of this whole situation, and where would you like to ditch your vocalist while on tour? Let me know in the comments below. For more from me, check out my band Dark Insanity. You can find our debut EP, Rabid Psychosis, available now on all streaming platforms. We've got Wyatt's Metal and Dark Insanity merch available now in my shop. We've also got hoodies, hats, buttons, stickers. We even have Dark Insanity weed bags. Link is in the description of this video. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.